Hi guys, it's me. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I'm Kayla. Today I decided I was going to do a little story time video basically. It's going to be my first story time video, so I hope I do good. I don't think there's really a way to tell stories that have happened in someone's life. So if you would like to know what I'm going to be talking about in my story time, then keep on watching. Okay, so I decided that I wanted to make a video basically telling my story of how I was hit by a car. And only because it's something that happened that caused a lot of problems for years after the accident. So, how it started, it was, I believe, 2013, 2014. I was 13 at the time. It happened the day we got out of school, like the first day of summer break, which was June 13th or June 14th. I was told, me and my sister were told by our mother that we were not to go out. We were supposed to stay at the house. Well, me and my sister decided that we wanted to go see our boyfriends and meet them at the high school that was nearby our house. So we did. So we left. I had an ace bandage around my right leg because my leg was acting up and I liked the pressure of the ace bandage. So I already had an ace bandage on my right leg, and I was meeting up, me and my sister, we were meeting up with our friend Mallory and our friend Gabby. Then we were going to the high school that's nearest to where we lived at the time, and we met with them. I decided to get on the pegs of my friend Mallory's bike. Then on our way back to my house where we all were going to hang out, I got on the back of my friend's pegs. My sister's boyfriend started chasing us on his bike, so my friend decided to start pedaling faster and going faster to see if we could beat him home. And it wasn't but like a 5-minute bike ride back to my house from our high school. And we came to an intersection of where a street was getting onto a main road, and we stopped at the sidewalk because we saw a car had pulled up to the stop sign. He waited for like a few minutes, like a minute or two, and she thought that it was okay for us to go. So she decides to start moving slowly in front of the car to go around to get to the other side of the crosswalk. Or not crosswalk, other side of the sidewalk. So as soon as we literally get off the edge of the sidewalk where it's just road to get to the other sidewalk, this person like kind of speeds off. Like he kind of like takes a jolt forward to try to turn right. He ends up hitting the front of the bike, hits the front tire, and my friend Mallory, luckily, she went onto the hood of the car and she kind of rolled, and then she like fell off the car. So she was fine. She got up. She got out of the middle of the road. But unfortunately for me, I ended up getting, since I was on the pegs, when the front bike tire hit the front car tire, it flipped. So I was flipped, but the bike flipped so fast, she fell on the hood. I went under the car. So my side hit the front right of his vehicle, and then my left leg, my left knee, went under the tire a little bit. So the tire kind of hit my knee and rolled over it, but then rolled back. And I was on the ground. I was crying like hysterically. I was in so much pain. I had no idea what just happened. Like it was just a flash. I remember that my friend was crying. My sister was like shocked. My friend and my boyfriend at the time, they were shocked. They were speechless. Then an ambulance came like really quick because we were right next to a fire station, luckily. An ambulance came real quick. The person that hit us in the vehicle just stayed in his vehicle. He did not get out. He did not call the cops. He was just kind of in shock, which I understood. That's as much as I saw. I'd never met the dude. Didn't even know what car hit me because I was blacking out so much. I remember calling for my sister, and I wanted to see her. I was talking to an EMT, and I was like, I need my sister, I need my sister. And she grabbed my hand, and she was crying, and it was like the scariest moment of my life because I didn't want my sister to be scared. I feel like I'm going to cry. Because it's not that I knew I was in a lot of pain, but my sister was like 11 or 12 at the time, so she was so young, and I didn't want to see her so upset and so worried about me. I was more worried for her, but I was blacking out the whole time. she was like looking at me and she was holding my hand. So I was just blacking out. And I didn't understand. I said my name, I said what my mom's phone number was, and all that stuff. I could comprehend that much. Like, I knew who I was, I knew where I was, I knew what happened, I knew what my mom's phone number was. But after I said my mom's phone number, I kind of like dozed off, and I like just closed my eyes, and they kept trying to like keep me awake. But I was just so tired. Like, I was hurting so much that my body like just felt like it wanted to shut down and go to sleep. So I was put into the ambulance. I was put on a stretcher first, and it hurt a lot because they strapped down my leg, and I knew there was something wrong with my leg, like my left leg. I could not move my leg at all. Like, it hurt. Like, I could feel that it hurt, but I couldn't feel my leg moving. I couldn't bend my knee. I couldn't touch my toe or move my toes or feel my foot. So they put me on a stretcher. They loaded me into the ambulance. My friend Mallory was also in the back of the ambulance with me because she did get hurt. Her ankle was twisted and she couldn't walk properly, so she needed to come to the ambulance too. And we were only kids. Like, only kids were there. We were not with an adult at all. So my sister was put into the front of the ambulance so she could come with us because she had no way of getting to the hospital. My mother was at work at the time. My grandma and my grandpa were at home. So on the way to the ambulance, or on the way to the hospital in the ambulance, my friend Mallory was trying to wake me up. She was holding my hand. She was like just crying. She just kept saying, "I'm so sorry, Kayla. I didn't know." And I was just upset because I was worried about everybody else. I thought there was something really wrong with my leg. I didn't know what was going to happen. My mom was going to yell at me because we were not supposed to go out. And to this day, I regret not obeying my mother. I would never have been in the situation I've been in for the past 5 years if I would have just listened to my mom. We were in the ambulance. We arrived at the hospital. My grandma and my grandpa got there first. My mother was called to the hospital. She assumed my sister was hit. She did not know it was her oldest daughter. They just said your daughter was hit, and she assumed it was Hannah, my sister. She got to the hospital, and she saw it was me. She saw Hannah was okay. She was freaking out. I apologized because we left. Like, I've never known anyone to get hit by a car, so it was just very weird. I didn't know what to do. I was in pain. They had me on a morphine drip. Like, I was just in a lot of pain. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was okay. I didn't know if I needed surgery or anything like that. But she calmed me down. My mom and my grandma told me it was going to be okay. They understood that I shouldn't have left the house when we weren't supposed to. They knew that I knew I made a mistake. Like, getting hit by a car just for not listening to your mom when she tells you not to leave the house is probably the worst thing that could happen. But it's the best also because it made it to where I knew that my mom was protecting me. That was my punishment for not listening to my mother. I got hit by a car that day. And I could have died. I could have been badly injured, worse than I was injured. I could have died. My friend could have died. It could have been my sister that got hit by a car just because we wanted to go hang out with our boyfriends and our friends. But we got to the hospital. I went to the Sentara near me. They wrapped me up in a foam brace and told me I was fine to go home. I just needed to stay off my leg for a couple of weeks. That night, my mom took me to CHKD because I was in so much pain I could not sleep. I couldn't use the bathroom by myself. I couldn't walk. I couldn't get up. I couldn't use my crutches because I was just so weak. And she took me to CHKD, and I found out that night that I had torn my MCL. Your MCL is a ligament in your leg, in your knee, like your ACL is in the middle of your leg. Most athletes tear their ACL because it's the easiest ligament to tear since it's in the center of your knee. The MCL is in like the inside of your leg. I tore that. The MCL is very hard to tear. That's what I was told. So I ended up having to wait a few months to do a scope surgery, which is where they just drill to a hole in the front of your leg or a hole in the front of your knee and a hole in the side of your knee. And they just put a camera in there so they can see exactly what's wrong with the ligament. They did that and found out that I did tear my ligament very badly. It was completely tore and it wrapped the other way around my leg. So that's why I wasn't having like proper functioning in my knee. So I ended up having to wait a few more months to do a ligament reconstruction surgery. And I actually have a picture of my scars. That is where they went back in through my scope incisions, which is just the two holes that were in the front of my knee and the side of my knee. They went into those holes and they actually had to cut the front of my knee to construct my ligament. They basically had to burn my ligament back to the other part of my ligament so it was together, and it was just staying where it needed to be. But I'm trying to find a picture of that. That was my second surgery that I had to do, was a ligament reconstruction. I was very scared, believe it or not. Like, it was very, very scary. I was 13 having one surgery, which was just a little surgery. It was just 2 holes in the side of my leg, or in the side of my leg and in front of my leg. And that was just easy. It took literally like 2 hours for them to do that surgery. I was in pain, of course, because of swelling and because someone was in my knee. But the second surgery was definitely the hardest. I was off my leg probably for about a month. I was on crutches. I always had knee braces. I had to do physical therapy all the time for months and months and months. This is a picture. I hope you guys can see it. This is a picture of these 2 on the side. Those are my scope incisions. I have one in the front of my leg, which was from my first scope, so I was wrong. They actually did 2 more holes for a scope, and then they cut the top of my knee to reconstruct my ligament. That was my second surgery. That was not as bad. It was definitely worse than my first surgery because my first surgery was very, very easy. Luckily, I never had to stay in the hospital after my surgeries because my surgeon was amazing. My surgeon was highly recommended. I was his youngest patient. Shout out to Dr. Carter, Dr. Anthony Carter. He is an amazing surgeon. He definitely took very good care of me. He did all 3 of my surgeries, since I've only talked about 2. He did all 3 of my surgeries. He's amazing. I felt better after every surgery I had. There was just a reason why I needed another one. So after that surgery, I did like 3 months of physical therapy. I went for my last checkup with my surgeon. I was just supposed to be checked out, make sure everything was okay. I sat on the bed and he told me to hang my legs off the bed, and then he was going to grab my knee, and then he was going to extend my leg to make me kick out. And then with my knee, I have very bad arthritis in my knee. Anytime I walk upstairs or I'm sitting down and I go to get up, my leg crackles, like there's pop rocks in my knee just from arthritis. But when he did that, he felt the arthritis, but then he felt something else, like my leg wasn't rotating the way it needed to. Like, he said that there was a possibility I needed another surgery, and it was going to be a more invasive surgery. So it was either that, or I was going to have pains in my knee. I could have complications growing, like getting taller. You know, if I got bigger, having more weight on my legs, it was always going to be a problem. So I decided to go ahead and get the surgery because I didn't want to have to worry about me not being able to do the things I wanted to do anymore. It was a tibia surgery, but I don't know exactly what it's called. They did something with my tibia where they cut my tibia in half. They moved it so my knee was more like centered and it was like working and moving how it needed to. They cut it in half. They moved it. They screwed 2 bolts into my legs, or into my leg. I have 2 bolts in my leg. And yeah, that was my third surgery. Luckily, that was my last surgery. I did not need another surgery after that. It definitely did help. I felt a lot better after my third and last surgery. Like, I could stand on my leg for longer. I could walk longer. It didn't hurt having my leg bent for a long period of time, because before it did. I couldn't walk for more than an hour. I couldn't stand on my leg for more than an hour. I couldn't keep my legs like bent or sit crisscrossed without it hurting, because my knee was it was so sensitive. I had 3 surgeries on my left knee, only my left knee. I probably did about 2 to 3 years of physical therapy. I was on very, very strong narcotics. I was on a lot of pain medicine, and that got me addicted to my pain medicine. I became addicted to oxycodone. I don't know what it's called, but it's Oxy. I got addicted to Oxy. I was taking my pain medicine every 4 hours, even if I wasn't in pain, just because I liked taking the medicine because I didn't want to have pain. My medicine was taken away from me, luckily, because I could have been seriously injured by taking so many narcotics every 4 hours just for no reason at all. Because you take medicine to help something that's going on. You take a headache pill to get rid of a headache. But if you're taking pain medicine and there's no pain to get rid of, that medicine is going to find something to fix in your body. and it might hurt you. And that's what was happening to me. I was becoming very moody. I was very tired. I was very angry. Like, I just got very addicted to my medicine. It was just a lot. I regret going outside. I regret getting hit, yes. I know it's my fault. Then again, it's not, because the person that hit us was not paying attention to the crosswalk. He decided that just because, or not a crosswalk, he was not paying attention to the sidewalk. He decided just because, it's a sidewalk, not a lot of kids use the sidewalk, of course. A lot of kids walk in the street. He didn't look both ways before he decided to just drive off. He was texting on his phone. When he got done with his text, I saw him put his phone down, and then he decided to go. And that's when he hit us. So I blame myself, and I blame the person that hit me and my friend. But yeah, this accident did affect my life, like, very much. Before I got hit, I was very active. I was a USA travel field hockey player. I was a center forward. I planned on going to college with a scholarship for field hockey. That was taken away from me the day I was hit by a car. I could no longer run like I used to. I couldn't play how I knew I used to be able to play. I wasn't as good as I used to be, and that killed me inside. I hated that one mistake, not listening to my mom, took away something that I loved. I loved playing field hockey. It was my thing. Field hockey was my sport. I played soccer. I just didn't like it. I did swimming. It wasn't my thing, but field hockey was always my thing. I was playing field hockey since I was like 7, and it was taken away from me because of me. I did it to myself. Really, I shouldn't have been outside. I should have stayed home. But that was taken away from me. I no longer can play field hockey. I can't do any sports to where I could be hit. I could fall on my leg very hard. I am not allowed to roller skate. I am not allowed to ice skate. I cannot jump on a trampoline. I can't skateboard. I can't longboard. I can't walk for a very long time. I have a very hard time walking up and down hills. So it's just, I have a lot of limitations due to the fact that I was hit by a car. And it bothers me so much because I never thought that I would be someone that had limitations and had to watch what they did and make sure that they don't fall or trip really hard and fall right on their knees. Because if I do fall hard on my leg, I probably will hurt my leg. It probably will hurt a lot. I can feel the 2 screws that are on my leg in the front of my knee. Anytime I bump them, it hurts a lot. And I do have the opportunity to where I can remove them. It's just I don't really feel a need to remove them. They're not hurting me in any way. I'd be more scared to take them out than to just leave them in my leg. But yeah, definitely. I'm kind of losing track of everything I'm saying, so hopefully this video isn't annoying. Hopefully you guys don't think it's very, very long, but it's just something that I don't really talk about to a lot of people just because it gets me upset. Like, the one sport that I loved doing was taken away from me just because of one stupid mistake of going outside and hanging out with friends when I wasn't supposed to. It was taken away from me. That was a punishment. I was punished so much. And I don't know if it's by God or if it was just by the world or just karma, but I was punished. I got hit by a car just for leaving my house when I was told not to. My favorite sport, my career sport, was taken away from me. I was going to have a scholarship going and doing field hockey at any college, and it was taken away from me all because of a dumb mistake. So I felt like I was punished, and I felt like it was always going to keep doing. Like, anytime I went to the doctors, I would just cry and cry because they told me I was getting better, but I wasn't the best. I was going to need another surgery. I needed to do more physical therapy, and I just didn't want to anymore. I wanted to just not have to worry about going to physical therapy every other day. I had to go like 4 or 5 times a week. And I was in pain every time I came home from physical therapy, especially when they took my pain medicine away from me. I was in a lot of pain, and I just hated that. I hated myself. I hated how I felt. I hated when I needed to depend on my mom and my sister to take me to the bathroom, and my mom had to help me take a shower. Like, I just hated that feeling of being, like, useless and not being able to do things on my own. And I don't wish that on anyone. Like, being hit by a car is probably, like, the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life so far. Like, most traumatic. I dealt with it for 5 years after I got hit by a car. my last surgery was in 2017. That's the last surgery I had, was 2017 when I was 17 years old. I got hit by a car when I was 13. So, yeah, 4 or 5 years I've been dealing with this, and now it's finally over. So, I wanted to make a video so I know that I can state to everyone who watches me and anyone who watches me that I dealt with a very traumatic experience, but I got through it. I had to get 3 surgeries and do a crap ton of physical therapy, but I managed to get through it, and that's what mattered to me. So, that is my story. That is how I got hit by a car and everything after. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't drag anything on. I hope it wasn't too long. I just really wanted to come here and tell you guys something that happened to me in my life and something I got through. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you've had any experiences like this, please comment them down below. Don't be shy to share your story also. And I hope to see you guys soon. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and that bell button so you get notified every time I post a video. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and have a good day. Bye, guys.